We're happy to be here today to talk about the Marcellus Shale, and in particular, not only the broad economic opportunities that the Marcellus Shale industry has brought to Pennsylvania, but also the workforce training capability of this state, which has been one of the primary reasons that along with the natural deposits of gas, that Pennsylvania has been a leader in developing the natural gas industry for our country. And we're honored today to have a number of terrific panelists who are going to talk to you. Lieutenant Governor Cawley's here today. We thank him. We have some other panelists who I'd like to introduce as we go through the program. But I want to tell you about myself a little bit and how this event today came together. I had the honor of being not only the Government Relations Director at Talisman Energy, which is one of the leaders in production in the Marcellus Shale to date, but I'm also the chairperson for the Marcellus Shale Coalition's Workforce Committee, and I'm also the three-state chair for America's Natural Gas Alliance Appalachian Regional Chapter. So we have a joint effort today which has been organized by both of those associations, the Marcellus Shale Coalition, which is the leading association here in Pennsylvania, and also America's Natural Gas Alliance, otherwise known as ANGA.
It's always a pleasure to be back in the Southeast, but I'm sure there are at least some here who would think that perhaps this is an odd place to be having such a gathering, to be discussing this topic. And candidly, I would respectfully disagree. I have said throughout in the research that we conducted during the life of the Marcellus Shale Advisory Commission to the governor, that one of the key stakeholders is in fact this region of the state. Keep one statistic in mind in the Commonwealth. Fully 1 in 4 of our young people right now, 1 in 4 that were born here, raised here, went to school here, leave here when they become adults. Not because they want to, but because they have to, because there aren't the job opportunities in this Commonwealth, and there are a great many reasons for that. But one of the things that I can say quite confidently is that this industry is helping to solve that problem. Now, the operative word in the sentence is helping. There is not going to be one great panacea from which all of our ills are going to be solved. It's going to require a comprehensive approach in several different industries. But one that is helping significantly is the exploration of natural gas. Since last year, they've been responsible for 72,000 new hires, and you're going to hear some other statistics as well. There's a lot of discussion about what's a new job and what's a job opportunity, and are we overinflating what it is? Folks, by any barometer, this industry is responsible for putting thousands of Pennsylvanians back to work. That is absolutely indisputable.
We didn't know what occupations came with this industry. We didn't have the legacy knowledge. So one of the first things we did in partnership with Jim Ladley, our next speaker, and a few others with Cooperative Extension and Penn College, we undertook about a 6 or 7 month study just to see what are the occupations that come with the industry. How many of these jobs are coming, okay, just so we could get a handle on it. And the end objective was to say, what programs do we need at the college? If we have them, great. If we don't have them, what do we need to create? Lieutenant Governor Cawley spoke to a couple of the statistics that came out of that study. And the study can be found at www.msetc.org. But that outlined over 150 different occupations that are required. I have to tell you, before we did the study, we had no idea. We had no idea. So then we looked at the 150 occupations and said how many of each one of those occupations are really required to do that job. And from that, we were able to extrapolate the kinds of training and education that we needed. So from our perspective, we took and studied the industry. We then took and put the programs in place that we did not have in place. And I would like to say that over the last year, and you saw it in the video, again, this was 3 years ago, but it took us a couple years to really get the curriculum developed, get the relationships with the industry, The industry started moving into the region. In the last 12 months, we've trained over 3,000 workers for the industry. Let me repeat that, 3,000.
There are about 20% of the workforce that is roughnecks and roustabouts, people who are drilling the holes and bringing the well into production. But there's also 3 and 4% of the workforce that's geologists and lawyers and engineers. And that might not sound like a lot when you start thinking about a workforce, but when you start to think about the numbers that you would need in order to enable that type of a workforce, the numbers are actually extremely large. And I can tell you that we're probably not graduating enough geologists in the state of Pennsylvania currently to meet that demand, or lawyers, or engineers. You do take your pick. There's a high demand across all of those different occupations, in addition to the technical skills that are required to drill the well, like the roughneck and roustabout.
I'm a derrick hand. I work for Nomac Drilling in Chesapeake. I got into it when I got out of the Marine Corps. I'd never seen a drilling rig before. I was brought in on a program called Troops of Roughnecks. I went to school while I was in the Marine Corps, and then I actually went to a separate school here in Pennsylvania, and then I went to one in Arkansas. They kind of bump you around, so you learn a lot from other people and people who've been doing it. I've been doing it about 2 years, and I love it. It's got a great schedule. I do 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off all year round.
I graduated cum laude in May of this year with my associate's degree in natural gas technology. Shortly after, I was offered a full-time position with Talisman Energy. My income is substantially better than at any time before my education, and as an added benefit, my children have seen our lives change and have since started talking about attending colleges in the future. I have had contact with many of my classmates. All I have talked with are now employed in the gas industry in Pennsylvania and have a bright outlook on their future. Many of these students had jobs waiting for them due to help from Lackawanna College. Larry Milliken, head of the energy programs, worked very hard to encourage companies to come to the school and interview interested students for positions. The industry has helped, with companies like Talisman, Chesapeake, and Exco, and others donating money and equipment for the students to get hands-on training and some of the same technology being used in today's new gas fields. The natural gas technology program at Lackawanna's New Milford campus is growing strong. There are interns from the new class in the field as we speak. When I last spoke with the college administrators, they were planning a one-year program for a certificate in natural gas compression, another occupation that is in growing need of trained workers. I have also heard of plans for an accounting program trained specifically for the gas industry. The industry is going to be in Pennsylvania for a long time. The labor demands are huge and varied. It requires a vast support network of other occupations: welders, mechanics, construction, accounting, truck drivers, salespersons, human resources, supervisors, safety specialists, office personnel. The list goes on. There is not just a need for young, tough men. There are possibilities for men and women of all ages and all backgrounds. There are jobs in Pennsylvania. We need to train our workforce to fill those jobs. Colleges like Lackawanna, Penn State, Penn College are working hard to fill those needs. Thank you.